Hey, Mech Warriors, welcome to Bad Ben's Battle Mechs. I'm Bad Ben. So, BattleTech Gothic. It's kind of official now. They've said so on their Facebook page. We all know. Um, Everybody's been talking about it. All the YouTubers are making videos about it. I've made several videos about it. I've kind of not made anything, given my opinion on this. Not that really anybody asked for it. Uh, or that you should listen to me at all, because I know nothing. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, but here we are. I want to give my thoughts on it. I kind of want to talk about what I've seen people saying about it. Uh, Mostly the detractors, you know. Uh, and I'll give you my opinion about it at the end, but you're going to have to listen to me ramble on about what other people are talking about for a few minutes at least. So, first thing I want to say, if if the buzz around this thing is any indication on how it's going to sell, it is going to fly off the shelves. Like, yeah, for just as a reference, the short little 5-minute nothing videos I made about it um, destroyed my previous view records by like 4 to 5 times. Uh, Everybody's interested in this. Everybody's making content about this. It's just like there's a lot of people saying bad things about it too, but that's going to happen when you get something this popular. I read the comments and there's tons of people saying, "Oh my god, this looks amazing. I can't wait." A lot of people saying, "It's not really my thing, but I'll probably buy it because they look like cool pirate mechs or Solaris gladiator mechs, and I could totally incorporate those into my uh, normal, game." So that's the first thing. I think it's probably going to sell like crazy, regardless of whether I think it's good or bad or whatever. People are going to buy this for sure, just based on the amount of like buzz going on at the moment. So yeah, that's the first thing. But so what have been people been saying? What have been the reactions? So like I said, a lot of people have been really uh, positive about it. They think it's an amazing thing. A lot of people have been saying very negative things about it, saying it's the worst idea they've ever had. Um, a couple of main points that often get brought up, well, that I've read. I don't want to say what everybody's saying, but what I've read, some of the points people are making is um, it's a waste of resources, right? They could have been spending this time putting it into the core game. Um, and I get that. I understand. Obviously, it did take time to make this. And that is probably time and resources that they could have been, working on something for the core BattleTech line. Sure, but that's kind of not really how I see it. After I've read this primer, and if you look at this picture here, um, this looks like, to me, like putting a new hat on a Barbie and selling it, Um, it's not that different. I think they just took pretty much you know, the box, the Game of Armored Combat box, right? Uh, they jazzed up a few minis with a little bit of Gothic themed, stuff. But all the other stuff that we have here, you got your little short story, you got your pilot cards, you got the battlefield support cards, aces cards, record sheets, rule book, primer, these little cardboard cutouts. It's nothing like they haven't done before. I think it feels to me more like, how can they put in the minimum amount of effort to get a new product. It's not like the minimum amount of effort, but like a lot of this stuff is recycled, obviously. And that's not even necessarily a bad thing. In the universe primer, I read the whole history, and 90% of it is exactly the same. Like down to Amaris and Kerensky, exactly the same. They changed the name of one house. So to me, it doesn't seem so much of a waste of resources, especially since the buzz around it seems like it's gonna sell. It's only going to be a waste of resources if it doesn't sell, right? Um, it looks more like putting like Marvel Monopoly, right? It's just a different skin. They reskinned it, and they're going to do it with other things, right? Actually, Um, I've got another picture here that I found on Reddit. First, I didn't know what this was, whether this was like official or not, but it seems like maybe these are not official. Like, oh, this is definitely coming, but ideas for other themed boxing. So you have an Atom Punk. I think they called it Atom Punk or Ray Punk Battle Master here. I think that looks really neat. I think that looks like a Solaris Gladiator. I think there's definitely a Solaris Gladiator that did his mech up like that. You know, his or her mech up like that. Um, that looks cool and distinct. This is supposed to be like an anime Mad Cat, which yeah, okay. I don't know. It doesn't look so different than a regular Mad Cat. Like it's not distinctive enough for me. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But this is going to be like the same thing. They're going to take a box of armored combat. They're going to slap on a few rules to reflect the aesthetic and release a few minis that are based on 3D models that they already have. So that's what I think about the waste of resources. I don't think this is going to be a waste of resources because it's going to sell and they're going to make money, right? How is that a waste of resources? If it's not for you, all right, then they haven't been putting their resources into things that you want. Unfortunately, uh, I don't think that's going to be reflected in the sales because it seems like there's a lot of people that really, really want this. Second point that a lot of people have been making is uh, they can't expand the core game anymore. They don't know where to go. Like uh, it's kind of coming to a halt. And there's two things about this. So the core game, the story is going full steam ahead. They got the Ilkon's Eyes Only coming out. There's going to be more source books like that. Um, they're going to be able to release more force packs. They're going to be able to release more technical readouts for it, more fiction for it, all of that. In that sense, I don't think that they're stuck in the core game, but I do think they're a little stuck on box sets that they can make in the core game. Everything that they can release from this point is going to be an expansion pack, probably on, the base game or something. It's hard to release standalone box sets that you can buy and play right out of the box without having to, buy another box or own it already. So in that sense, maybe they are getting a little stuck with the core franchise, and so this is kind of like an easy, obvious win. You take the core box set that you already have, reskin it, and sell it to the masses, right? It's not a new concept. Monopoly's been doing it for decades, right? Marvel's doing the multiverse. That's all it is. It's a multiverse, and we're going to reskin the same skin that we have in 100 different ways, and you're going to all buy it. So that's second point. I don't think that the story in the core universe is going to, you know, falter or come to an end anytime soon. But new box sets for core BattleTech, they're going to get more difficult, and you're going to be selling to a smaller and smaller audience with each new release if you can't release like standalone play right out of the box sets. They don't expansions, you know, you can only sell them to the people who already own the first one or are willing to buy the base game as well, which is a smaller group. Anyways, so that's about, you know, expanding the core of BattleTech. But next thing I've heard people talk about is they don't want another Kickstarter. And with this, I wholeheartedly agree. I don't want another Kickstarter either. And I'm not sure that it's going to be a Kickstarter. I don't know if they've announced that it's going to be one. Um, if you know any different, please tell me in the comments, obviously. But the only thing I've seen about it is at the end of the trailer, it just says coming summer 2025. Now, if that means that this box set lands on, you know, store shelves in the summer of 2025, that's going to be awesome. If a Kickstarter starts in the summer of 2025, I'm not really going to be, I'm not that invested. Like, if I were to back the Kickstarter, it would be at the lowest level just to get the box set, right? And even then, maybe not, because I don't want to have to wait another 2 years to get this. So, yeah, Kickstarter, absolutely. Please no. Please no on the Kickstarter. Just put this on the store shelves. Let us buy it. I'm not looking to get, you know, posters and T-shirts and challenge coins and all that jazz for BattleTech Gothic. I don't think a lot of people are going to be that invested in it. Yeah, so we don't know anything about that. We don't know whether it will be a Kickstarter. Hard to say. So there's really not much to say there. What the other thing everybody's been saying, obviously, is just I hate it. It looks awful. It's a stupid idea. Why are they copying Warhammer? If I wanted to play Warhammer, I'd go play Warhammer. That's why I play BattleTech, because it's not Warhammer, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. I think I kind of answered this question. I don't think they care. I don't think it matters. The amount of buzz and hype around this thing, if that's any indication of how this thing sells, regardless if all, like, a lot of the hype is really negative, big things like this, when big things like this come out, you always get detractors, right? And I don't think the Catalyst's going to listen to them. I don't think they really care. Uh, Pretty much every box set that they've released has been a success, right? So why stop here? It's created so much buzz. I don't think it really matters. So finally, what do I think? What do I think of BattleTech Gothic? Um, well, it's going to depend on a couple things. Like I said, the Kickstarter. Um, if it's a Kickstarter, big no. I hate it. But I don't know that, so if it's not a Kickstarter, okay. Uh, what it's going to come down to, though, is something that we haven't seen yet, and that is the plastic minis for the abominations. If you read the universe primer, you'll see that alongside battle mechs, abominations are going to be units in the game. Um, they talk about it quite clearly. At least that's how I interpret it. You know, that there are going to be these abominations, and they haven't shown us any of these plastic minis. If the abominations end up being like these cardboard things, then boo, no, big no from me. That's going to be crap. That's going to be like a real cheese out. Uh, so I don't think that that's going to be what the plastic what the abominations are going to be. I don't think that they're going to be cardboard cutouts. I actually have a theory about what the and what the abominations are going to be. I'll share my theory with you now. Uh, Remember, I don't know anything. Anyways, reading the Universe Primer, there is a whole section on the abominations, and uh, the way they explain it is that basically pieces are grafted on to other animals. Any animal piece can be grafted onto any other animal piece using biochemical cement or whatever they say. I forget what it was called, But basically, you can take anything and slap it together and you get a monster. And that's how abominations are created. Now, we already know in this box set, this atlas right here in the middle is going to have customizable heads. So you're going to be able to take off, put on any head from the faction that you like, and um, customize your atlas as you like. So my theory that I'm putting out there is that the abomination minis are going to be at least in some way customizable. This is playing off the whole grafting pieces onto other pieces idea. Um, so that's, we're going to get some plastic minis and you're going to be able to swap out the heads. Some of them have like weapons grafted onto them or backpacks, harnesses that they wear carrying weapons, so maybe you'll be able to switch out harnesses. We already know that we already have the tanks, the vehicles from the Mercenaries Kickstarter. A lot of the turrets are interchangeable. They just released, or didn't release, no, they announced an emplacements kind of force pack and mentioned that turrets are going to be interchangeable. So you can put on a tank turret on like a stationary turret if you want. So I think they're going the route of customizable, and we're going to get some kind of customizable abomination. To what degree they're customizable, um, I really have no idea. Is it just going to be minor? Is it going to be major? You could run into rule problems with that. Like, it's probably just going to be aesthetic customization. Uh, Otherwise, you'd have to have like a whole customization system. I really, I'm going off on a tangent here. Anyway, so for me, is BattleTech Gothic good or bad? Well, I think for Catalyst, it's going to be a win. They're going to sell it, whether or not I think it's good or not. For me, whether I think it's good or not is depending on a couple things. Is it going to be a Kickstarter? If so, no dice. I'm not interested. What are the plastic? What are the abomination minis going to be like? Uh, are they going to be in the box set as well? Are they going to be customizable? If we get all of that and they're customizable little abomination things, then it's going to be a big thumbs up from me. And if that comes along with no Kickstarter, then that's a double thumbs up. If it ends up being a Kickstarter and the abominations are going to be these these cardboard cutout things, that's like a double thumbs down for me. So really, there's not much to say. But we're going to find out tomorrow because they're going to tell us more, right? So this video that I'm making is really only going to be relevant for the next 24 hours at most because we're going to learn everything probably tomorrow at the Adepticon. And we'll learn that everything I said was wrong and I'm an idiot, right? But there it is. That's what I think of BattleTech Gothic. I think it's a good idea for Catalyst. They're definitely going to make money. I'm not a super fan of Gothic aesthetic. I don't think, it's too churchy for me. That's fine. I don't care. Uh, yeah. So that's what I got to say about it. I'm gonna leave it there. Hope you have a good one. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.